So UFC 272 goes down this weekend, headlined by Colby Covington against Jorge Masvidal. It's the grudge match of all grudge matches, the mother of all grudge matches. And I'm here to talk about it. Before I do, my name's Rahul J. Chan. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. This card itself, right, is shaping up to be, it has turned out to be quite a decent looking card on paper, right? Considering what this card started out as and all of the changes that have happened, the main event included, what we've ended up with is pretty good. Do you know what I mean? But there is only one place to start, and obviously that's the main event, Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. Now, these two have been talking absolute shit about each other for best part of a year, 18 months, right? And I don't know about you guys, but these interviews that ESPN MMA have put out with Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, and with Dan Lambert, really kind of putting a lot of onus on this grudge that they've got. These two brothers, these two guys that lived together for I don't know how long, but like a bond that was so strong that's now been ripped to shreds, and now they're arch rivals and nemesis and enemies, and there's only one way to settle this, and that's in the octagon. And that's what we're going to see on Saturday night. Now look, with regards to the kind of genesis of this beef, for lack of a better term, there's a lot of kind of theories that I've seen on social media, a lot of conspiracies flying about the legitimacy of these two having this grudge. How real is it? Is this all just for the pay-per-views? Is this all just for the numbers? I don't believe any of that. I actually genuinely believe that these two have fallen out, right? And I feel as though what we as viewers need to consider is whose side of the story we believe. Now, before I give my opinions, Jorge Masvidal used this term during his interview, and he said there's three sides to every story: his side, my side, and the truth, right? So whatever I say now is just an opinion, because obviously I don't know all of the facts and I wasn't there to give you guys an informed view, right? But one thing that I will say is Jorge Masvidal, the way he laid out the kind of the build up to them two falling out, and the main reason, the coach that was supposed to get paid 12.5 grand by Colby Covington, that never came through. A coach that Jorge Masvidal introduced to Colby Covington, so he felt some responsibility towards Colby, towards ensuring that Colby pays this coach. The public kind of spat how it all started, etc., etc. I'm not going to lie to you, I believe what Jorge Masvidal is saying more so than Colby Covington. Now, I do accept that there's a chance that Jorge isn't disclosing information that might make him look bad, as it were. And there might be some credence to Colby Covington's view that Jorge Masvidal started to feel a little bit of envy towards Colby Covington when Colby Covington started rising through the ranks, when he changed his persona, his demeanor, when he started cutting those promos on, you know, the Brazilians and things of that nature. There might be some credence to that. But the reason why I tend to accept Jorge Masvidal's side of the story more so than Colby's is just how Colby has behaved over the last 2 years or something, where he blatantly says things that aren't true, right? So his assessment of the first time he fought Kamaru Usman, and how adamant he was that he won the fight, and how adamant he was that the fight shouldn't have been stopped when it was stopped. And I don't agree with that. And I feel as though it's plain to see that he was hurt and the ref had legitimate cause to stop that fight. And that's just one piece of behavior from Colby Covington where I feel he's being, he's not being 100% honest. And if you can do that once, you can do it again, right? And from Jorge Masvidal's point of view, I don't know if I've ever really seen something where I sit there and think to myself, this guy's talking absolute crap. You know, like I've seen him say things that I don't necessarily agree with, but it doesn't mean that he's lying, right? Saying something that someone else doesn't agree with and just outright lying are two totally separate things, right? So that's that. But at the end of the day, I don't really care so much about the reason why they fell out. What I think is more important for me as a fan from the outside looking in is the fact that I believe in this grudge that they have against each other. I don't think they're just hamming it up for the cameras. With that being said, again, as a fan, I personally enjoy fights more when there is genuine animosity between the two fighters. But for some reason, this fight hasn't caught fire for me just yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not hyped and excited about it. Like, I'm going to be up. I'm going to stay up all night to watch this on Saturday night, Sunday morning. But at the same time, I'm not like, every time I think about this fight, I don't get excited like I have for previous fights. And I think that has a lot to do with how long this has been brewing, you know? Like I said at the start of the video, they've been going back and forth for best part of a year, 18 months or whatever. So I'm not saying this fight is way past its sell-by date, right? Because just for comparison, we had a fight here in England a couple of weeks ago, a boxing match, Amir Khan against Kell Brook, which was, you know, a lot of people agreed 5 years too late, right? Both of these guys aren't in their prime anymore. They should have fought way earlier on in their career. But I was still excited about the fight. And this is a similar story. Well, it's not similar in the sense that they were ever really close friends, but they've always had a grudge against each other, right? And they finally got into the ring and settled the differences and shook hands and walked away. But I was excited for that. I was excited for that fight. I made videos about it, and I don't really make videos about boxing matches that often, you know. But on this side, on this front, Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal, I don't know. I don't know why I'm not really looking forward to it. And I have a feeling the reason why is because both of these guys are legitimate top 5 in the division, but they've both lost twice to the champion. So aside from someone winning this beef between them two, there's nothing else after that. Do you know what I mean? So maybe that's why. I don't really feel the excitement for it. Like, for example, if they fought in a #1 contender fight to see who fights Kamaru Usman for the second time, maybe then I'd be more excited for it. Does that make sense? Now, the fight itself, I feel as though a lot of people are picking Colby, and a lot of people believe that Colby has the attributes that can nullify Jorge Masvidal, right? Because Jorge Masvidal, although he's always in a fight, he does slow down. This is a 5-rounder. Colby Covington doesn't stop going. Now, this is, again, just my opinion. I'm not saying this is how it's going to play out on Saturday night, but I feel as though Colby Covington started a little bit slow against Kamaru Usman. Now, I don't know whether that was because he was fully aware of what Kamaru Usman is capable of. I don't know whether that was because, again, Colby Covington found himself in a situation where he'd talked a lot prior to the fight. And so there was, again, a grudge, animosity between them two. So I don't know whether that played into how he started the fight. But he did grow into the fight, right? And I wonder if he finds himself in a similar predicament against Jorge Masvidal. Now, if he does find himself in that predicament, because you'd imagine if he's going to have success against Jorge Masvidal, he needs to fight his fight, which is activity, being busy, movement, and just overwhelming Jorge Masvidal with strikes and opening opportunities to take him down, right? But if he's tentative and fighting off the back foot and allows Jorge Masvidal to work his way into the fight and win the early rounds, growing confidence and stature within the fight, will that be a big tell in terms of who comes out on top? I've been impressed with Jorge Masvidal, the way he's spoken before the fight, and how like, it doesn't feel as though it's a facade, right? Like the way he's been speaking about Colby Covington and this fight, and recalling how their sparring sessions, etc., went in the past. I don't know. I tend to believe him, right? But he's spoken confidently about himself throughout his career, and he's not undefeated. You know, he was very confident going into the Kamaru Usman fight for the second time, and we all know how that ended. So talking a good game and performing on the night are two totally different things. And that's one thing that Colby Covington has alluded to in that same interview that I mentioned, where he said, he kept talking about how Jorge talks the talk, but I'm going to walk the walk, right? Personally, I'm split. I'm split in terms of who I think's going to win. And I don't know whether Jorge Masvidal's sold me a wolf ticket and I've bought it, but I feel as though Jorge Masvidal has a legitimate chance to win this fight, even though I've literally seen him get knocked out in his last fight. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen Colby Covington hurt Kamaru Usman, so there is a distinct possibility. I won't be surprised if Colby Covington's able to hurt Jorge Masvidal, right? Let's not forget, even the Darren Till fight, when Jorge Masvidal beat Darren Till hurt Jorge Masvidal. But for some reason, in my head, I feel as though Jorge Masvidal speaks about Colby Covington almost like he's the big brother. And no matter what happens, no matter what they do, Jorge Masvidal will come out on top. And I'm kind of buying into that. And although I'm buying into that, I'm kind of having second thoughts about me believing what he's saying. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I know when now that I'm talking about the fight, I'm getting more excited about it, right? Because my favorite thing to say in this channel is what makes a fight exciting to me is the possibility of either fighter winning and the element of unknown. And I feel like this fight has some of that. But then there's a part of me that just feels as though what we're going to see is Colby Covington just win every round, and it's a 5-round decision. One thing I want to add is, because they know each other so well, and because they spent so many hours training together, and because they know each other's strengths and weaknesses, there's a possibility that we just get a slow, drawn-out fight, like a tactical fight, because they're hyper aware of what the other guy's good at, and they don't want to take risks. And if that's the case, we might end up just seeing a boring 5-rounder. But I hope not. Just for the sake of giving you guys a prediction, I'll just say Jorge Masvidal is going to knock Colby Covington out. But I say that with zero confidence. But that's my prediction for this fight. I tell you what, I'm gonna make separate videos for the other two fights that I want to talk about. So I'll catch you guys. And actually, before I say all of that, please feel free to comment below about the stuff that I've said. Share this video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys next time.